Some people call Lahmacun Turkish pizza. In fact, it's described that way on the menus of several Chicago area Turkish restaurants where I've tried it. But to my friend Deniz, who grew up in Istanbul, that comparison doesn't sit right. Calling it pizza, she says, sets a weird expectation for the thickness. It's not so much like a pizza or a flatbread, she says, but should be thin like phyllo and crack when you roll it. So according to Deniz, the second half of that description is wrong. And according to another friend in Turkey, Katie Tursun from the TikTok account The House Hippo, I'll tag her if I can, the first half is not exactly correct either. When sending me the recipe for what she calls the best lahmacun in eastern Anatolia, Katie pointed out that many cultures call lahmacun their own. Turkey, sure, but also Armenia, Lebanon. I've found accounts claiming it as a Bulgarian dish. Like other dishes popular in and claimed by Turkey, baklava, dolma, kokoreç, pastırma, börek, kebabs, I'm sure variants exist in many former Ottoman states. Still, with apologies to Deniz, I think I'd have to describe lahmacun as a flatbread, usually rolled and stretched very, very thin like a shrak or tortilla, topped with a spiced mixture of vegetables and meat, and baked in a screaming hot oven just long enough to cook it through. I've had versions where the unleavened crust was rolled out nearly translucently thin, and I've had versions where I think they must have just picked up a pizza crust in a bag from Trader Joe's. Those were even served in a pizza box. But in nearly every case, the results have been spectacular. Lahmacun is just that good. The flatbread is invariably served with salad for garnishing, raw red onions, or perhaps sumac onions instead, sprigs of parsley, slices or chunks of tomato, sometimes greens like arugula or some variety of lettuce, and a wedge of lemon to squeeze over the lot. So when I made my own lahmacun at home, I used the recipe that Katie passed along for what she calls the best lahmacun in eastern Anatolia, as provided by her husband's grandmother. Now, I'm not going to read you the whole recipe. Recipe talk this is not, but I will paraphrase bits of it for you because she has a turn of phrase I find charming. You cannot, she says, make perfect lahmacun outside of Anatolia. Well, I appreciate her vote of confidence. Continuing, though, it is an easy dough, but do not rush. In a big bowl, put together 650 grams flour, 120 milliliters yogurt, 250 milliliters water, and 1 teaspoon salt. Knead for 3 to 4 minutes. Do not rush, in all caps, and rest in fridge for a minimum 15 minutes. Now you can read the exact recipe on my website if you like. But her meat mixture consists of lamb and beef mince, onion, green and red pepper, tomato, garlic, tomato paste, which I forgot and had to mix in later, red pepper flakes, I used Aleppo pepper, paprika and cumin, salt and pepper. But this is the important part. Now that the dough and meat have set, take the dough and make 4 balls. Flatten the balls into thin discs, not too thin, but thin enough that it can become crispy. Place the dough on parchment and be careful for tears. Spread evenly the meat mix you have made, flattening to the dough. No clumps or bumps should be present. Now I baked this in a pizza oven at 700 degrees Fahrenheit, so I skipped the parchment and used semolina and pizza peel instead. But here are her instructions to finish the dish. While baking, make a quick salad of onions and parsley with a healthy amount of sumac. You must have a quarter lemon also for best taste. Once finished, remove from oven. Add onions and parsley and tomato if you like. Squeeze lemon and eat. And eat it I did. Lahmacun is a favorite in Eastern Europe and Western Asia for a reason. The savory meat and vegetable mixture, with its extra umami punch from tomatoes and tomato paste, is aromatic and pungent from the onions, garlic, and green peppers, spicy with paprika and cumin and dried chilies. It glues itself to the flatbread as it bakes, remaining moist, yet adhering itself to the surface. Once served, these flavors are punctuated by the lemony sour and pungent sumac onions, savory sweet tomatoes, and the peppery note of parsley. Lahmacun is nearly a perfect food, and I recommend that everyone try it if they haven't.